Morning, guys. I'm Ollie Sinclair. I'm a principal consultant for the cloud practice. We're going to go deep dive into three scenarios: one around virtual entities, one around Power Automate, and the final one around RPA, so robotic process automation. So the next scenario really is the Power Automate demo. Now, Power Automate is a massively powerful tool and does lots and lots of different things. And this scenario is a good example of how it's used really as an integration engine. So scenario two is that Crimson has rolled out the platform for housing officers too, and they're using that for core contact management. Unfortunately, that the housing officer manager needs to see all appointments for the team in one place, including rent support visits. So if people going outside doing rent support, unfortunately, the replacement of the rent support booking system is for future phases. So again, we're getting this limbo where we need to have that single source of truth for the customer, knowing when people are going to be visiting our customers, our tenants, and sort of and having a full view of that. But unfortunately, some of those appointments are in the new system, and some of those appointments are in a legacy booking system or a different booking system. It may not have to be legacy. So one of the situations we get ourselves into is how can we very quickly integrate with a external system and be able to combine information about the same type of data. So with the first scenario, it was transactions. That's all coming from an ERP system. In this scenario, we have appointments, but in two areas. We've got appointments in the common data service and in our Power Platform, and we've got appointments in a legacy system. So how do we have a look at sort of merging and understanding a full view of the same type of data? And that's really where Power Automate it really comes into its own. Now, the scenario I'm going to run through is when a booking is created on this booking site, what it's going to do is going to trigger an automated process through a custom connector and retrieve booking details, find the customer, find the user, and the relevant service calendar, and then create the appointment within Dynamics 365 with the details that we've retrieved from this custom connector, so that when we present a calendar view of all appointments, the manager can see not only the appointments in the Dynamics 365, but can see the appointments in the other bookings. So first thing to show you is I'm using at the moment, I'm using Microsoft Bookings just because I didn't want to show you any other booking system because you might get ideas, and we want you to be on Microsoft. But effectively, this information is actually stored outside of Dynamics 365 and can be integrated. And I'm showing you a way of actually doing that through a connector. But ultimately, we've got this demo bookings area where somebody can log on and someone can access this site and ask for an RSO consolidation meeting. So if you click on this, what it does is there are only me at the moment, but there are our staff and availability times for making bookings. So what they would usually do was select the right times, fill out the information, and book. Now, what we need to do is be able to have a trigger to be able to understand when somebody is creating a booking and how that sort of relates into Dynamics. So the first thing to show you is Power Automate. Now, within Power Automate, I've got a thing up here called External Booking System Sync. So this will show you the type of things that you can do in Power Automate. So this is a flow, and if I go and edit this flow, there's a whole number of steps that you do, but I will very, very quickly go over this. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I'll just briefly go over it. So this is this trigger point at the moment. When an event is added or updated or deleted in this booking system, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my external booking calendar, which I've created a custom entity within Dynamics to be able to merge both appointments from Dynamics 365 and from this booking engine. I'm going to initiate some variables and actually step through and get the booking. So I'm going to get the booking that's been created. I'm going to retrieve some start and end times. I'm setting customer names. I'm setting customer emails. I'm searching for a user in Microsoft Graph, so I can go and find the user that's related to that booking, and also go ahead and find the contact as well. So if I'm going and if this is a new appointment, if it wasn't a new appointment, and say for example, if somebody wanted to amend appointment on the booking entity, we can build that journey in here and actually amend or update an existing appointment if that appointment is changing. So again, if you're talking about a fully fledged example and a demonstration of this, we would create them and we would also update them, and you'd have another element for deletions as well and removing that from the calendar. I'm going to step through the utopian journey where we don't actually have an appointment, so be creating an appointment, and then we would be searching for a contact, and if that contact exists in the system, then we would apply an update, an appointment to an existing contact. If it was a new contact, we would create a new contact in the in Flow and then update the appointment with a new contact. So as you can see, the power of Power Automate, that there's a lot of things that you can do and there's a lot of elements that can build up to this, but ultimately this is giving you an example of how things can run through when you're actually when you're integrating with some legacy systems. So if I click on test, I'm just going to have this run in the background, and what you'll see is that to see this work, I need to update or delete a calendar item. So what I'm going to go and do is jump on to that booking side, and I'm going to go ahead and book an RSO consultant consultation for Jordan. So, and I'm going to have him as J Leonard, and I'm going to add phone number and then some optional addresses. So what I'm doing here is I've selected my time. I've selected Friday at 1600, and it's Jordan. So I'm going to go ahead and book. Now what you'll see on the Power Automate side is that that's now triggered the process, if the demo gods are being nice. And it's gone ahead and identified that there is an event that's happening, and it's stepping through my conditions, and it's stepping through, yes, it's a new booking, and yes, we're finding the right people, and yes, we're getting there, and we're slowly but surely we're populating all this information. Now, how does that look from the Dynamics 365 side? Well, if I go ahead and jump onto my demo calendar, and I haven't refreshed the screen yet, but as you can see on the 21st, we don't have anything coming in here. If I was just to move away from this calendar and go back, what you will see is that Jordan's come through, and as an RSO consultant. So I've gone ahead and actually selected the right time, although that sounds like it's the wrong time. But ultimately, effectively, you can then all of these other meetings are from other areas. There's a gas inspection, there's a community call, and they are standard appointments that are in the system and not specifically on the legacy booking engine. But as an officer, I can actually see all of the information and all of the appointments that are happening on that day that relate to those. So again, Power Automate allows you to combine information together and then surface that through the Power App, through the model-driven app on a calendar view. But effectively, you're syncing together. So the second example is that combination element. So the final the one that I do want to show you today, if I can quickly go through it, is RPA. So RPA is the most sort of the latest